everyone, I'm Ree. Welcome aboard my train of thought. And I know I haven't uploaded in like 3 weeks or something, almost a month. But that's just because I haven't been feeling good enough to record anything. I had a lot of ideas, but then I didn't want to like put on makeup and change out of my pajamas to sit in front of my laptop and talk to it about anything. I yeah, no, I didn't have the energy for that. And also, I kind of, I really don't like the quality of my laptop camera, as I'm sure, like, you don't like it either. And I haven't been able to fix my phone. So that's like something that keeps me from recording anything because I'm like, I don't want to put up a video that's like so bad quality. But here I am again, recording something. Um, this time I didn't plan the video. I usually like I don't write scripts or anything because I like rambling, but I usually like plan the videos to have like sections so I keep myself a little organized in my ramblings and so I don't forget as much things as I would forget if I just like sit here and talk about shit without planning it. But this time I didn't want to do that because honestly, as I said, I had a lot of ideas and I had a lot of things planned. But those things aren't relevant anymore since I like didn't have the energy to film anything for a long time. So I didn't end up going with the planned things. And this time, since I didn't know when I was going to have energy again to film, I didn't plan anything. And I just like had this random burst of energy and I just wanted to do my makeup today. So here we are with no plan. So probably with no sections on this video. But I really want to talk about WandaVision because it ended like a week ago or something. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier era is about to begin. And I really like WandaVision and I wanted to do a video about it because yeah, why not? So again, I don't have any sections planned, but I'm gonna try to like keep this a little bit organized. So yeah. First, I'm gonna talk about spoilers throughout this whole video because I feel like this show is better if you just go into it without knowing much about it, really. Like, yeah, I don't feel like it's the kind of show that you should watch reviews before watching the show. Like you can watch reviews saying, "Oh, it was good" or "Oh, it was bad." But I don't know. I think it's better discussed by going into specifics than by just keeping it general. Anyways, with that said, if you haven't watched the show, don't watch this video. This is going to have spoilers. Or watch this video if you don't care about spoilers. But you're probably not going to understand anything I talk about. But yeah, this video is gonna have spoilers. I'm gonna give like a brief overview of what happens on the show beginning to end, and then I'm gonna discuss things that I liked and of very few things that I didn't like. So yeah, what happens in the show? Basically, um, I don't know how I wanna explain this. Should I do it like the way the show reveals things, or should I do it like chronologically? I'm gonna do it chronologically because I'm assuming you already like watched the show. So if you wanted the experience of the reveal that we got on the show, like you're not gonna get it on this video. So yeah, basically this show takes place after Endgame, and as you would know, Wanda Maximoff is like a very complicated and kind of underused character in the movies because you see her flip flopping between being a kind of villain in Age of Ultron to then being a member in the Avengers, but she's not as easy to understand as maybe Captain America and even Tony Stark. She has like this more nuanced stuff. And since she's not like a main character in any other movie, she's not explored as much. So this is the show where we get to explore her. Anyways, You know that her closest relationship within the Avengers was probably with Vision after Pietro died, and then Vision died. We know how that went. And since he died not because of the snap, he wasn't returned after the snap, but Wanda was. So this show deals with like the immediate-ish aftermath from the return from the snap. And you see Wanda going to this corporation called Sword that has Vision's body there. And they're trying to like regenerate it, like bring it back, bring Vision back without the Mind Stone because there's no Mind Stone anymore. And Wanda's all like, "Oh no, I want my husband's body." Well, he's not her official husband. I want my dead boyfriend's body because I want to give it a proper burial because it he was a person. And then they're like, "No, he wasn't. He was a machine, and so he doesn't have the same rights as a person." Sorry. And there's this whole thing that in like episode 4, I think it was episode 4 or 5. I'm shit at keeping track at what episodes happen, at what happens in each episode, but I think it was episode either 4 or 5. The episode where we're in the real world. And they show us that Wanda broke into Sword's laboratories and stole the Vision's body. But then later on, we see that that wasn't what happened. And she didn't even steal Vision's body. She just, like, tried to touch it, like, to say goodbye. And then after that whole experience, you see that Vision had bought Wanda a lot, like a property in New Jersey. That was where they were gonna start like their normal lives, you know? So she goes to visit that lot, that land, and it's in this like forgotten town of New Jersey called Westview. And she's there and she's feeling so much grief that she just loses control of her powers to a point where the powers engulf the whole town, and she brings Vision back, but it's not really Vision. It's just like her memories and her love for Vision manifested by the power of the Mind Stone that lives in her in a physical form. Since she's really traumatized, like in general, her method of dealing with trauma, well, her escape method from trauma, since she was little, were sitcoms. So her way of like dealing through this grief that she feels for Vision and for everything that she has lost is by creating this alternate reality in the city that she engulfed, in which each day it's a different era of a sitcom. And she's controlling everyone. She has everyone under mind control, and they're all feeling her pain, but she doesn't really know how that happened. And she doesn't like want to hurt anyone. She's just like working through her trauma in a way that she doesn't even know that she's working through her trauma. She didn't even realize that that was what she was doing. Like she didn't even realize she was in control of the whole town until a few episodes in. But yeah, basically chaos ensues. You know, there's this other witch in the town that is curious about how much power Wanda has, and like let me just say that I'm not a comic book reader. I like watching videos about comic books and all of that, but I don't have the time, energy, or money that it takes to keep up with all of these comic books, storylines, and all of that. So I just find a storyline that I like and watch a video on it. But I'm not familiar with all of the comic book characters and all of that. So one of the things that I enjoyed after watching the first 2 episodes that dropped was watching a lot of videos on theories of what comic book characters would show up, which most of them didn't end up showing up. But one that was like I'm guessing it was pretty obvious for comic book fans, and it would have been like a very big letdown if Marvel didn't go through with it, was that Agnes was actually Agatha Harkness, who's a character in the comics, who's a witch, and, you know, yeah, turns out that the nosy neighbor called Agnes is actually a witch called Agatha Harkness.
Who's been messing up everything?
It's been Agatha all along.
Like, she wasn't an original resident of Westview. She just showed up when she felt all this magic. And Vision has no idea what's going on. Vision is the only resident, I guess, that Wanda doesn't control. And eventually Vision finds out, and Agatha is trying to steal Wanda's power. And also you have the corporation Sword trying to stop Wanda because she's a villain and she kidnapped an entire town. They're actually just trying to destroy Wanda and steal the vision that she recreated. But then they find out they can do it because that vision can't live outside of the hex, which is like the force field that is keeping the town under Wanda's control, I guess. Um, so yeah, they end up actually building another vision and using something that Wanda threw out from the hex that is still like infused with Wanda's power to give the new vision life, which is called the white vision. And, you know, all of that. Cute, fun. I don't know why I'm telling you this because you already know, because you already watched the show. This is just rambling, I guess. Now, let me get into stuff I liked. I really liked the whole experience of watching this week to week. I think I've said it before in all of my other videos. I really like watching videos about shows that I'm watching or that I watched. So I really enjoyed like watching the show and then watching all the theories about what's going to happen in the show next episode. And I think it was like a fun experience, even if I don't like the suspense or anything. I think having time to process what just happened in the previous episode and creating this expectation of what's going to happen next was a really good experience, although it led to some very big disappointments, which I'll talk about later. I also liked that it wasn't that big on the whole superhero thing and connecting with the big scheme Marvel universe, because if you don't know like anything about the Marvel universe and then you just watch the first episode and it really just looks like a sitcom with an element of maybe horror with the whole scene of stop it. And yeah, my dad was very confused. I was very intrigued. I was like, yeah, I really liked all of the episodes that take place inside the sitcom universe, and I really like the aesthetic changing from decade to decade. I loved it. I know that they were eventually going to run out of decades, so they couldn't keep that up for the whole show. They had to stop that eventually. But and I watched another video by Scruffulous, I think, because I wasn't like sure about making this video, so I watched other videos and yeah, I'm gonna try not to repeat much of what I saw on other videos. But Scruffulous Productions, I don't know how to pronounce that. This dude was talking about like he really liked WandaVision at the beginning, and then by the end he didn't really like it. And I kind of agree. I didn't like the reveal from the real world at the point where it happened. I would have liked it if we could have just like taken a little bit longer to get there. But I get it. It's not a very long show anyways. I something this irks me. I really like long for long content, anything. So the fact that these episodes were like 20 minutes and there were only 10 of them, like, oh, I would have loved it if, okay, yeah, we have like this 20-minute episode, um but we have like a lot of those 20-minute episodes. I i don't want to say that this show, I think the show was short and it felt a little bit rushed by the end. I don't know. Like it was well paced in the beginning, and then by the end, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there was something missing, like a tiny bit. It was still a good show. Don't get me wrong. Now on the real world trio that I've seen all over Twitter, and every Stan Twitter loves it, which is Darcy, um, Agent Wu, that I don't remember his first name, and Monica Rambeau. I I've seen very divided opinions on Darcy specifically. Like I loved Monica, and I loved that she was keen on talking to Wanda and helping her work through her grief, even if she didn't want to accept the help. I liked Monica. I didn't like her reaction to getting powers. I feel like it was very nonchalant of her, but well, I don't know. Maybe if you live in a world with superheroes and then out of nowhere you get powers, that's something like you kind of expect. So maybe you wouldn't be as surprised as someone from this world would be. I don't know. Um, yeah, I liked Monica a lot. I liked Agent Wu a lot too. And the thing with Darcy is that I've seen the most divided opinions on Darcy. There are people that really didn't like her, and there are people that love her and wanted more from her. Mm, I personally, I think what we got from Darcy was enough. I don't love her as much as other people. I don't hate her. I don't think she was overdone at all. I think she was enough. Um, yeah, I liked her only scene in the finale. Ugh, I hate, I hate that we let uh, this dude who I forgot his name, the evil dude from Sword. I can't believe I forgot his name, but I hate that he lived in the end. He should have died. Truly, he should have just boom out. I don't know how we would have killed him, but he should have died for sure. And like he was willing to shoot at kids, two kids. Like okay, yeah, these kids have superpowers, and they're probably not real kids. I don't know. They're like figments of Wanda's imagination or anything. But he was going to shoot them. Like, bitch, are you okay? Is there's something wrong there? So I think he should have died or at least be beaten up very badly. And no, the car crash doesn't count because he wasn't even injured there. So like, no, he needs bigger consequences. And I don't know if he's gonna get them. um, I like the whole premise of Wanda actually having magic, but her not knowing it, and like the whole thing that I'm not sure if I like the reveal of you're the Scarlet Witch. Because I don't know, it felt silly. I liked it, but at the same time, I kind of didn't really like it. I don't know how to explain it. But I like that she's going to get educated about her powers now. Because throughout her whole appearance during the MCU, we've seen her, like, she's really, really powerful. She's the most powerful. But she has so much untapped potential. And she also ends up, like, messing up because she doesn't know how to control her powers. She has so much power that she doesn't know how to do things with it. So I've liked her progression of becoming this really, really powerful person. I don't want to call her a hero, and she's not a villain either. This really, really powerful character. Um, and now that she's going to get educated, like we've seen in the last scene, I think that she's gonna be unstoppable. I'd like to see where they take her. I don't want her story to end so soon. I don't know if Elizabeth Olsen wants to keep doing this. I hope she does, because I want Wanda to carry on longer, because I want her to have her own movie. I know that she's going to be in Doctor Strange, but I want her to have her own movie or something. Like, I want her to have a big plot line, because she deserves it. She's the most powerful character in the MCU. Like, um, what else? I really loved her Scarlet Witch suit. Something that I liked, but that I kind of saw coming was, when she goes into Agatha's basement and Agatha's like, "Oh, there's runes, dear. Didn't you know? Only the person that casts the runes can use her magic in this space." And when she said that, I turned to my dad and I was like, "Oh, maybe Wanda should cast the runes like on the hex, so no one can use her magic inside it." And I was expecting it, and I liked that she used it in the final battle, because how do you defeat a person whose powers is sucking up your powers? You invalidate her powers. That was smart. I felt smart for thinking about it before it happened. I'm sure a lot of people saw it coming. I'm sure, like, I'm not like a super genius who saw something that nobody did. Like, yeah, I'm sure it was like a very common expectation. And talking about expectations, we're going to get into the things that I kind of didn't like. As I've said, since I like watching videos about content that I'm consuming, I like a lot of content to consume. I watched a lot of videos talking about theories, like who was behind it all, like was Wanda manipulated by Mephisto and all of that. And I found it fun. I didn't really expect the show to go that route. Like, I didn't really expect them to introduce Mephisto or Nightmare, I think it was. And I know that it was a fun theory that Mr. Scratch, the rabbit from, well, Agatha's rabbit, was actually the devil, because Mr. Scratch is a nickname for the devil. Or that her husband, Ralph, was the devil, too. I found those theories very interesting. I wasn't expecting them to become true, but they were interesting. So yeah, I wasn't expecting those theories to become true. I didn't know what I was expecting them to do with Ralph, but this wasn't it at all. No, thank you. On episode 6, on the 80s episode, at the end of the 80s episode, Quicksilver shows up. But it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver, which I was very disappointed about, because I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. I want to see him in more projects. Like, where is he? What is he doing? I literally only follow Sam Taylor Johnson on Instagram because she posts images of Aaron Taylor Johnson. And Aaron Taylor Johnson doesn't post anything. So, like, what is he doing? I want to, like, he was my crush for the longest time since I watched Nowhere Boy. Yeah. Because he was like a fan favorite in the Harry Potter Marauders fan cast community, whatever. So yeah, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. The point is, I really wanted to see Aaron Taylor Johnson if they were going to bring Quicksilver back. But I also really love Evan Peters, because I'm an edgy emo kid that watched American Horror Story and fell in love with Tate. So I really love Evan Peters. I'm exposing myself for being trash. Sorry. Anyways, I really like Evan Peters. I must confess that I haven't watched the X-Men movies. I'm sorry. Really sorry. I'm gonna get into it eventually. But I know that Evan Peters is Quicksilver in the X-Men universe. So, like, when I saw Evan Peters as Quicksilver here, well, not Quicksilver. I should stop saying Quicksilver, because they don't give him the name, like, in the MCU. He's just Pietro Maximoff. When I saw Quicksilver as Pietro here, I was intrigued. I wanted them to do something with it, as I'm sure everybody did. Like, every video I watched since they introduced Pietro was about How's Peter Quicksilver from the X-Men now Pietro Maximoff in the MCU? Are they gonna bring the X-Men now? And I know, like, I wasn't expecting the MCU to integrate the X-Men as we know them from the Fox universe. So I wasn't like completely expecting them to integrate them through even Peters. But I was expecting them to do something related to that. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I for sure wasn't expecting him to just be Ralph. Like, he's like that reveal was so disappointing to me. Like, it almost ruined the whole show for me. I know, like, a lot of people were fine with it. It almost ruined it for me. I don't know. Again, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this, and this is not the way to subvert my expectations. Like, I know that a good TV show doesn't always play into your expectations, but if you were going to surprise me, yeah, I didn't like it. This was bad. No, thank you. Oh, anyways, another thing. I'm looking forward to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier only for Bucky. Like, I have nothing against Anthony Mackie or Sam Wilson. I just love Bucky, and I want Bucky content. I miss Bucky. Bucky is my comfort character, and he probably shouldn't be because he's more messed up than I'll ever be. I don't know what it says about me that my comfort characters in the MCU are like the most edgy. Anyways, I think I've been rambling for long enough. I haven't really said much. Like, what am I? I don't know what I am anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm, I'm just talking, literally. Anyways, the point is, I'm excited to see what's next. I want to see where Wanda goes after this. I was really sad. Like, throughout the whole show, I was really sad because I knew that Vision wouldn't be brought back in the end. Like, I knew that Vision was going to, and I'm sure all of us knew that. But I was really sad because Wanda deserves to be happy, and I know that Vision makes her happy, and I love her like, oh my god. And also, I'm like really intrigued, curious about how sex with a synthesoid works. Like, I know that the pregnancy was all in Wanda's imagination, and like the whole show is probably on Wanda's imagination. But like, not only like sex. I'm curious about like how does it feel to touch him? Like, of course, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are two human beings, and when they touch each other, they feel skin. So on all of those scenes where there's contact, you're feeling skin. But I'm really curious, like, canonically, how does Vision's body feels like, because I'm like, I know he can alter his density at will and all of that, but like, do you touch him and feel cold? Is it cold metal, or is it like weirdly smooth? I don't know. I'm questions that nobody else cares about, but for some reason I do. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm sorry. I was intrigued by that. The twists and turns were. The thing is, most of the twists were expected. Like, I really didn't expect Wanda to have stolen Vision's body. So when they showed us that, I was already expecting it to be a setup. And it was. And like, when it turned out it was a setup, I wasn't surprised. Hayworth! Oh my god, I just remember the dude's name. Oh, oh my god. Yeah, I'm a mastermind. Yeah, Hayworth should have died. Sorry about that. Anyway, I knew that Hayworth was setting it up, and Jimmy Woo. Oh my god! Like, why are the names coming at me at the end of the video? I'm sorry. I'm a mess. Sorry. Anyways, I knew that Hayworth was setting her up, and I knew that it was just because he wanted to like finish her, and that he wanted to get Vision. Like I knew that that wasn't Vision's dead body reanimated. Uh, so that reveal wasn't surprising to me, you know? And I, after the first two episodes and after watching the theories and all of that, I was expecting Agnes to be Agatha. Even if, like, the first time I watched the first two episodes, I wasn't, I was expecting something to be up with Agnes, but I wasn't expecting her to be like a comic book character because I'm not familiar with comic book characters. But after being informed of the existence of Agatha Harkness, like that was a pretty easy deduction to make, you know? So again, that reveal wasn't much of a reveal. Like we were all expecting Agatha to be there. We were just waiting on the why. And the why, that was not what the theories were getting at all, but it still wasn't like, well, I guess it was a pretty decent reveal. Just because it wasn't what I wanted, doesn't mean that it was bad. Yeah, that was like a pretty decent reveal. Just that she was working alone, basically, because all of the theories were like, oh, Agatha is working with Mephisto or is working with someone else, and the reveal that she was working alone was a decent reveal. The final battle was awful. I'm sorry. Like, I said it that I think that her casting the runes on the hex was clever. That was clever for sure. But the CGI was awful. Awful, awful. Um, what else? What else do I have to say about this show? I feel pretty bad about the inhabitants of Westview, but at the same time, I don't really care about them. And maybe that's like sick of me to say. Like, yeah, poor things, and they're awake for all of it and all of that, but like, I just want WandaVision to be happy. And if it takes them taking over the whole town, I don't care. Because you know what? You know why I don't care? Because they're movie characters. That's why I don't care. Well, TV show characters in this case. Like, of course, if in real life someone was controlling a whole town just to bring back their loved one, like, yeah, the happiness of two doesn't justify the suffering of many. But we're talking about a TV show in which I'm rooting for the main characters to be happy. And I don't care who gets hurt for their happiness. Anyways, what else was this? Oh, yeah, the whole reveal thing. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked a lot. The thing is that the reveals that play into our expectations weren't as exciting of reveals because we were already expecting it. And the reveals that diverted from our expectations, just like the uh, why did I just forget Agatha's husband's name? Just like the Ivan Peters reveal that he wasn't Peter from the X-Men and he was just like a random dude from town getting controlled by Agatha. Um, those reveals were not great. Yeah, anyways, WandaVision is a weird show. I really did like it. I like that it has a very loose connection with the bigger MCU. Because I like that the whole MCU is connected, don't get me wrong. I usually enjoy the big ensemble movies more than the standalone ones because I don't care as much for the main characters of the standalone movies for them to carry a whole movie for me. Like, for example, if I watch Thor, I'm not watching for Thor. I don't really care about Thor. I'm watching to see if Loki is in there. So I watch the standalone for the side characters. And on the big ensemble movies, there's usually a lot of side characters that I like. So in this case, um, I like that it's a contained story with usual side characters from the other stories because I love these characters. So yeah, to end my rambling, and I'm so sorry. I love the aesthetic. I love the outfits because I love vintage retro fashion, even though I don't wear it because I don't like myself in it. But anyways, I love that. I love Wanda Maximoff. She deserves the world. She deserves to be happy. She's my favorite female character in the MCU. Not that there are a lot of them, but she kicks ass. Love her. She deserves to go to therapy and work through her issues because I want her happy and I want her to find love again or to find a way to bring Vision back. She deserves that. I'm sorry. Um, what else? I really would have wished that Evan Peters being Pietro would lead to somewhere, but it doesn't, and I don't know how to feel about it. I want Aaron Taylor Johnson back. Please bring him back. Disney, what is the issue? I can solve it. Call me. I will solve it. I don't know how, but I need this issue to be solved so that we have Aaron Taylor Johnson back in the MCU. Please. And yeah, I think this is everything. And I'm sorry this video is a mess. I'm sorry I didn't plan this. I'm sorry I went MIA for like 3 weeks. Yeah, everything is not going great. But we're here now. We're dealing with it. We're messing up the hair again because that's what I do when my life's going to And yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for writing this really long, rambly, sidetracked train of thought with me. If you enjoyed it for some reason, give it a like, please. Share it if you want to. I don't know why you would do that, but share it. Go ahead. Also, leave me a comment telling me anything you want, really. Tell me that my opinions suck. Tell me that my favorite MCU characters suck. Tell me if you like Darcy. Tell me that my favorite MCU characters are also yours. Just tell me anything. Tell me what you are expecting from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Tell me whatever you want, honestly. Just leave a comment because, this channel started as a way of for me to like ramble on to the internet as I would ramble on to my friends. But you know what? My friends usually ramble on back. So ramble back on the comments. And if you're not subscribed, but you found this video for some reason, I don't know how you would have, but if you did, and you also liked it, you liked my energy, this is not the energy that I bring every video. Like, I'm usually more organized than this. Kinda. Anyways, if you liked the video, you liked my energy, maybe consider subscribing. I usually post 2 videos a week talking about anything that I want to talk about. Like, there's no real theme here. Usually it's TV shows, but it's also weird stuff like Australian animals, for example. But yeah, usually there are 2 videos a week. I'm probably gonna stop doing that. It depends on my mood, honestly. I'll commit to at least 1 video a week. I'll try to do that. But yeah, subscribe if you want to. And yeah, I think that would be all. Thank you so much for writing this train of thought. I already said that, but here we go again. And yeah, all right, that's it. Bye!